unusual situation here. We got we're getting a little too long-winded. We've got a caller from the last hour of the show. So Matt, let me try to sum up one more time for folks who just dialed in. We've got
Sounds good.
okay. Matt's mom is 78. She's got $3 million. She wants to go to one of those continuity of care places, a retirement community that requires a buy-in. Typically, that's around $250,000 or so to buy in. The problem with buying into these things is that they promise that the continuity of care that they offer includes skilled nursing care, and that you never have to worry once you pay the entrance fee and spent down all the rest of the money that you declared to them, because then their benevolent fund will handle everything. The problem is that the way that the entrance fee is treated as a deposit, refundable deposit by Medicaid, and you'll never qualify for Medicaid. But in order to get the benevolent fund, you have to qualify for Medicaid. And if you did qualify for Medicaid, they don't need the benevolent fund because Medicaid pays for everything plus profit. So it's a bit of a morass. Here's another little thing about these continuity care places. There are special rules regarding declaration of assets. In a skilled nursing facility, you tell them, look, here's what I've got. And this is a very typical thing. People will do a complete info dump to the skilled nursing facility, and then they'll come see us and say, hey, well, I've got this stuff. Well, that's no problem, because a skilled nursing facility cannot deprive you of your federal rights. You have a right to the Medicaid program, your entitlement rights. They can't say you got to give up your Social Security. They can't tell you got to give up your Medicare. They can't do that. And because they can't do that, you can keep doing your planning. That's fine in a skilled nursing facility. Continuity of care, very different. Continuity of care facility, if you declared I've got $3 million, then you have to use up all $3 million. They can hold you to account for that. So our answer is, I'm not going to tell them, and I'm going to tell them that I'm not telling them. So if I'll say, look, I'll take $500,000 and $250,000 pays my entrance fee. The other $250,000 I will use to pay for my stay here. Okay, plus I got Social Security, pension, whatever else. And there isn't a facility in town that will turn you down on that basis. Okay, but I've still got $2.5 million over here. Question is, what do I do with that? The answer is, I put it in. I don't give it to the kids. Do not give it to the kids. People are always giving it to the kids. Don't give it to the kids. What you do is you put that into one of the trusts, the protection trust that I keep preaching about for the last, 20 years or so, 30 years. You put it into the protection trust. Now, here's the thing. When you put it into the protection trust, right, for Medicaid purposes only, not tax purposes, not common sense purposes, not I need my money purposes, but for Medicaid purposes, you gave the money away. Now, you didn't give the money away. Did I just say that? I did just say that. Let me say it again. The IRS thinks the money is still yours. It's still taxed to you. It's still included as part of your estate. There is not a completed gift. There is a new revenue ruling out. I've gotten about 24 inquiries about this revenue ruling. Oh, my goodness, this changes everything. And no, it doesn't change anything, as a matter of fact. It just restates what the law has always been. It's helpful that way. But it doesn't affect anything that we're talking about, this new revenue ruling. So don't worry about it. It doesn't apply here. The point is that it's mom's money. It stays mom's money, but mom doesn't have to spend it. Mom can preserve it for her kids, for her grandkids, all right, and still qualify, which is important because you don't get the continuity care unless you qualify for the Medicaid. Okay, great. Here's how I qualify for the Medicaid. These assets over here are off the table. These assets I told you all about, and I used them up over the last 5 years. Okay. And now if I need skilled care, right now it's 12 to 15,000 per month, $300, $400, $500 a day. If you think the price is going down, let me reassure you that it is not going down. It's going up. So at the end of 5 years, when now it's $20,000 or $25,000 a month, right? I'm not going to run through all the rest of mom's money. Instead, mom will be eligible for the long-term care. She will get all the benefits, all the contractual benefits that she paid for when she entered the continuity care facility, right? And she will still qualify for the Medicaid, which she has to do anyway to get the contractual benefits that were promised to her, because that's part of the contract. So, and the trust that you put them in, there are restrictions in this trust to qualify it for the Medicaid. It's not, oh, my assets are in trust. 5 years have gone by, therefore I'm no. The typical trust that's done will not have any effect whatever on this kind of planning. It's a purpose-built trust, and you have to keep an eye on it. You have to know what you're doing. It has to be done correctly, and then you have to keep track of this stuff. And we do that for you, of course, with the Red Wagon Club that we call it. But we'll keep track of it for you to make sure that it works when you need it. Well, there you go. I got all that off my chest. So all right, what questions do you have for me, Matt?
Can you convert a standard non-revocable trust to one of these Medicare divestment trusts to work, to skip the 5-year waiting period, or it's got to be a totally new entity?
New entity. No, you can't. There's no shortcuts.
Okay, got it.
See, and the beauty thing is,
years.
Yeah, I mean, like we've had, I don't want to say many, but we've had dozens of clients in your mom's situation, okay, where it's like, even crisis, and lots of times they come in a crisis situation. I've got $3 million. We've already spent $1.5 million. We've already spent $2 million. What do we do now, right? Well, lots of times the 5-year plan is still going to be more, not with a married couple. I'm talking with a single person. Sometimes the 5-year plan is still the most beneficial. And this is I'll tell you, this is the kind of planning, like if you were to come in, right? If you were come in the office and say, hey, here, what's going on? And you've got a house and some savings, we're going to recommend this kind of planning. It's not millionaire planning, because frankly, my view of the world is the less you have, the more important it is that you protect the little bit that you've got, or you're going to lose it, right? If you got a lot and you lose half, well, you still have half of a lot. But if you've got not that much, typical middle-class family, right? You got 300,000. Well, shit, that's a lot of money. If you're middle, you know what I mean? I mean, you can do a lot with that. You can support your kids, your grandkids, and people are like, oh, it's only 300,000. So what? It's like, well, wait a second. This is a lifetime of work for folks. The fact that your folks were able to accumulate as much as they did, good on them. I'm 100% with that. That's great. Wonderful. Let's keep that too. But for most people, it's significantly less. The other thing here too, Matt, is when it comes time to pass that on, and I don't know if they're counting me down again, but when it comes time to pass that on, it comes to you. We set up the trust so that it comes to the beneficiaries, whether it's grandkids or kids. It comes to the beneficiary, or not related. It comes to the beneficiaries in trust, so you don't have to go through the 5-year process again. It's immediately protected for you, for your kids, when your mom sets it up. That's all part of the plan, to do it that way.
Gotcha. Okay.